Life is full of uncertainty. We do not know what will happen tomorrow, nor can we predict what will come our way. The unknown future constantly worries us. Perhaps we will lose our job. Perhaps an unexpected problem will arise. Or maybe our lives will be turned upside down in an instant. This uncertainty exhausts the human mind because we feel powerless in the face of things we cannot control. Anxiety is like a mechanism that works non-stop in our brains. We try to turn it off, but it always finds a new excuse to start running again. Sometimes everything in our lives seems to be going well, yet the anxiety within us refuses to go away. The human brain is programmed to think of the worst-case scenarios. In ancient times, this trait was essential for survival. If a person in the forest heard a sound and assumed it was a threat, they would run away and stay alive. But in the modern world, this same instinct traps us in useless fears. What if I fail? And what if people don't like me? And what if something bad happens tomorrow? We create fear for ourselves even when no real danger exists. For centuries, people have tried to cope with this feeling of anxiety. Some have surrendered to fate and let events take their course, while others have tried to control the future, only to fail in doing so. When faced with life's unpredictability, a person has two choices: either fear uncertainty and become stressed, or accept it as it is and live more peacefully. The ancient Stoic philosophers Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius offered a different way to overcome anxiety and stress. According to their philosophy, there are things in life that we can control and things we cannot. We cannot fully control the weather, economic crises, or how others treat us. However, we can control our thoughts, reactions, and decisions. This mindset helps us manage our inner anxiety. The Stoics imagined life as an ocean. Sometimes the waves are calm, other times they are strong and destructive. But instead of fearing the sea, we must understand it and learn to live in harmony with it. Anxiety works the same way. We cannot completely eliminate it, but we do not have to let it control us. Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb people, but their judgments about them." In other words, the problem is not always the event itself, but the meaning we attach to it. So how can we apply this philosophy to our modern lives? In a world where life can change at any moment, how can the Stoic principles help us reduce stress? In this video, we will explore the methods suggested by ancient philosophers and learn how to apply them in real life. If you want to free yourself from anxiety and stress and live a calmer, more controlled life, there is much to learn from the Stoics. We often attach clear labels to everything in our lives, good or bad, success or failure, luck or misfortune, but in reality, events simply happen. How we interpret them is our choice. There are several psychological and social reasons why people tend to blame external factors rather than themselves for their failures. Our inner self does not like to take hits. Accepting failure, recognizing our mistakes, and correcting them is actually difficult. That's why our brain automatically tends to blame others and external factors rather than ourselves. Saying "I made a mistake" is hard, but saying "the circumstances made me fail" is much easier. People dislike uncertainty. When we fail at something and try to find the reason within ourselves, it becomes a complex and distressing process. Now, let's look at it from another perspective. Imagine you go to a job interview and fail to succeed. What will be your first reaction? Some people think, "I failed, which means I'm not good enough." This thought creates stress and disappointment. But if you follow Epictetus' philosophy, you can see it differently. This was just an experience. What can I do now to be better prepared? Do you see the difference? The event itself didn't change, but the meaning you attached to it did. In both cases, we feel anxious. But in the first scenario, we blame everything on external factors, while in the second, we look for the cause within ourselves. However, one of the most important issues here is that we worry too much about things beyond our control. Because our brain dislikes uncertainty, we cannot control the weather, what people think about us, economic crises, or how the future will unfold. Yet worrying about these things every day drains our precious energy. It's like holding a glass of water in the air for hours. At first, for 5 minutes it's fine, but as time passes, your hand gets tired and eventually, holding it becomes unbearable. If you cannot change something, why carry it with you constantly? Instead, we should focus our attention on what we can control. We can control our thoughts, reactions, and decisions. This is not just a motivational statement, but a real-life strategy that makes us stronger. When something upsetting happens, ask yourself, can I look at this differently? Worrying about life's unfairness, past mistakes, or what others think about you won't move you forward. These thoughts only hold you back. But now imagine you focus on what you can control, improving yourself, gaining new skills, taking care of your health, and strengthening your relationships. You will notice that life becomes calmer and more peaceful. According to the Stoics, stress and anxiety often result from an internal struggle within our minds. We are stronger than we think. We just need to learn to direct our control to the right place. Life goes on, but how you react to it is your choice. Staying strong is not just about physical strength. It depends mainly on inner resilience and mental flexibility. We cannot predict what life has in store for us, but we can always control our thoughts and reactions. The Stoics believed that it is not the events around us that determine our well-being and strength, but rather the meaning we give them. Seneca said that when a person imagines the worst possible scenario in the future, they build psychological immunity against it. Because what scares us the most is uncertainty and events beyond our control. But when we mentally prepare for those events and think about how we would deal with them, they no longer seem unexpected. We realize that we can handle them. This mindset minimizes stress and anxiety, making us more prepared and composed. For example, if you are afraid of losing your job, instead of letting that fear consume you, confront it. Ask yourself, if this happens, what would I do? Consider searching for a new job, improving your skills, or transitioning to a different field. The more your mind envisions the scenario, the less frightening it becomes, because you will know there are solutions. The same principle applies to other areas of life. Financial difficulties, problems in relationships, even health concerns. A person lives unhappiness not just through the events themselves, but through their unpredictability. However, if you visualize challenges in your mind beforehand and look for ways to overcome them, those challenges will no longer be a force that controls your life. On the contrary, you will be able to stand strong and calm in front of them. The Stoic philosophy shows us that while we cannot know what life will bring us, how we respond to it is entirely within our control. True strength lies not in being swept away by the current of events, but in the ability to change our perspective on them. The more light we shed on fear, the weaker and less significant it becomes. The past is no more, and the future has not yet come. Only the present moment is in your hands. Though these words may seem simple, understanding their deep meaning and applying them to our daily lives can bring us true freedom and inner peace. Many people either feel regret over past mistakes or fear future events. However, Stoics encourage us to accept the present moment and make the most of it. Because real life is neither in the past nor in the future, it happens only now, in this moment. What you did in the past can no longer be changed. Repeatedly analyzing it, living with thoughts like, I wish I hadn't done that, or if I had behaved differently, everything would have been different, will only leave you tired, demotivated and disheartened. Clinging to the past instead of pushing your life forward is like a weight that holds you back. Remembering the same mistake over and over again, reflecting on it won't change you. On the contrary, it will drain your energy and psychological strength. The Stoics say that regret is meant to teach us lessons from past mistakes, not to make us constantly blame ourselves. Life gives us lessons, either success or experience. If any event bothers you, if a past decision still weighs you down, take a moment to ask yourself, what did I learn from this mistake? If what you've learned brings you a new mindset and helps you make better decisions in the future, then that mistake was actually an opportunity. Remember, a person cannot grow without making mistakes. Even the most successful people in life have gone through numerous failures and mistakes. But they learned from them and continued on their path. Maybe you lost someone in the past, missed an opportunity, made the wrong choice, or went through an event that caused you pain. All of these are behind you now. They happen to open a new path for you. It is these experiences that make you who you are today. The person you are today is a result of the lessons you learned in the past. If you cannot forgive yourself for what you did in the past, remember you made the best decision. You knew how to make with the knowledge and experience you had at that time. A person changes and grows over time. The mistakes you made back then may seem like mistakes with today's perspective, but at that time they felt right. This is part of growth, letting go of the past, accepting it, and continuing on our path with the lessons it gave us is in our hands. As life flows forward, we must move in accordance with it. If we look back and live in the shadow of the past, we will not be able to build our future. So now make a promise to yourself. I refuse to carry the burden of the past. With what I have learned from it, I will move forward stronger, wiser, and more confident. This translation captures the meaning and essence of the original text, while maintaining a natural flow in English. Let me know if you need further adjustments. Don't let the past destroy you. Turn it into your advantage and move forward. The future has not come yet, and it may never be as you imagine. By nature, humans tend to fear the unknown. Anxiety arises when we think we cannot control the future, because uncertainty disrupts our brain's search for comfort. In fact, the most exciting part of life is that uncertainty, because it creates endless possibilities. Sometimes we fear events that haven't even happened, as if they have already occurred and affected our lives. But this is just an illusion of our mind, dwelling on events that haven't occurred yet and loading ourselves with questions like, "What would I do if this happens?" only causes stress and prevents us from living in the present moment. Take a moment to think. How many times have you feared the future? An exam, a job interview, an important decision? How much did you worry about these events beforehand? Now recall those moments. Some of them weren't as difficult as you thought, and some even turned out better than you expected. This is the mystery of the future. It never turns out exactly as we imagine. Therefore, look at your fears from another perspective. If you constantly think, "What if something bad happens?" change that question to, "If I face a difficulty, how can I solve it?" The power of this question is that it focuses your mind on solutions, not fear. Do you feel the difference? The first question makes you feel passive and fearful, while the second gives you a sense of control and strength. Remember, the future is not written yet. It is shaped by the decisions you make and the steps you take in the present moment. Embrace the future with hope, not fear. The uncertainty of the future can give you new opportunities instead of scaring you. If you don't know what tomorrow will bring, it means that tomorrow may also bring unexpected, pleasant opportunities. Often we don't know when the best things will happen. Sometimes our toughest moments unexpectedly lead us to the most beautiful places. If you're afraid of the future, ask yourself these questions. What is the worst that could happen? What measures can I take against it? If this happens, how will I recover? As you think about these questions, you'll realize that no difficulty can completely destroy you. There's always an exit. There's always an alternative. You've overcome many difficulties, haven't you? So why do you think you won't be able to handle the future? The Stoics teach us that fear arises only from inaction. The more you think about the things you fear, the bigger they grow. But the moment you take action, fear starts to shrink. So if the future worries you, just take action. Make a plan, improve your skills, take small steps. Whatever life brings, you can learn how to deal with it. You are strong enough to handle anything. There will always be uncertainty in life, but rather than scaring you, it should motivate you. The doors to the future haven't opened yet, but you can be ready to walk through them. The key is to choose confidence over fear. The future is unknown, but your strength is real. The true time for a person is the present moment. To appreciate the value of this moment, You can incorporate small but powerful habits into your daily life. When doing something, focus only on that task. If you're eating, savor the taste of your food. If you're talking to a friend, give them your full attention. If you're working, concentrate fully on your work. This will make your life more fulfilling and meaningful. Every day, ask yourself, what am I doing right now? And how can I do it better? This question will help you distance yourself from unnecessary worries and focus on solving real problems. You can only manage this moment, so try to live it in the best way possible. Take small but purposeful steps. If big goals scare you, break them down into smaller steps and focus on progress each day. Getting a little better every day is the key to long-term success. The Stoics say that the purpose of life is not to be perfect, but to keep growing. Be grateful and see the beauty in simple things. Make gratitude a habit to appreciate the beauty of the present moment. Be thankful for waking up, the refreshing water you drink, and the sunlight you see. The value of life lies in this moment. Marcus Aurelius once said, before thinking about tomorrow, make sure you're not wasting today. People often look for happiness in the future, thinking, if I had this or that, I would be happy. However, true happiness comes from appreciating the present moment. If you're watching this video, it means this moment has been given to you. How you use it is in your hands. Instead of clinging to the past or destroying yourself with fears of the future, live in this moment, make every second meaningful, and feel life here and now. Because life begins only now. One of the most powerful and inspirational principles of the Stoics is amor fati, love of fate. This principle helps us accept that everything in life has a purpose. Nothing happens by chance, and every event can teach us a lesson. Often we rebel against the difficulties that come our way, asking, why did this happen to me? Or I wish everything were different. These thoughts distance us from reality. But the Stoics didn't think this way. They believed that life brings us what we need, not what we like, but events that help us grow, become stronger and more resilient. So instead of cursing a difficult situation, running away from it or complaining about it, try to accept it and see it as a valuable lesson. Ask yourself these questions. What can I learn from this? How can this situation make me stronger? What opportunity is hidden in this difficulty? This mindset will help you stay away from stress and accept the events life presents in a deeper sense. Once you realize that every difficulty hides an opportunity, there is no need to fear anymore. Look, the most successful people in history have looked at difficulties from a different perspective. Epictetus was born a slave, but that shaped his life philosophy and made him one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, constantly living in political and personal difficulties, but he overcame them with Stoic thinking. Embrace every moment of life and draw strength from it. In every difficulty life brings us, there is an opportunity. Our job is to see that opportunity. If we can love our fate instead of fighting life, we can live in harmony with its flow. Because no matter how unpredictable life may be, we can find our way within it. Remember, life is not against you. It works to make you grow. Every difficulty that comes your way is there to make you stronger. Life is shaped by how you react to it. Love your fate, for it turns you into the person you are today and prepares you for a better future. Accept the unchangeable, strengthen the things you can change, and see everything as an opportunity. Life is on your side. Be ready and move forward with confidence. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. See you again soon.